This podcast is a part of the Benview Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenviewNetwork.com.
This podcast often contains controversial or mature topics. You have been warned. Welcome back to Raygun Readers, episode 25, 24, one of the 20s. I don't remember and I don't keep track anymore. We just got back from, we're looking to move our broken spaceship over to the next ridge, where the property values are better. What was your favorite place we scouted out today, Papreeka?
I like the place with the solid ground instead of the acid lakes or the boiling rock pools.
We are currently situated on an acid lake, and it makes repairs very difficult.
Yeah, and especially the high density clouds, it makes it very hard to breathe. So we're locating higher onto the ridge so that we can get above the
ion storm,
the dense nitrogen clouds.
Can we talk
Cold
about
nitrogen clouds?
Can we talk about the ion storm that's always above where we live?
Oh yeah, the ion storm that we decided to fly through, and that's why our spaceship's broken.
Yeah.
Even though it was going to be gone in like half an hour.
Well, I got very impatient, so I kind of,
Yeah. I remember your distinct words were, woohoo. Now here we are.
Yeehaw. Yeehaw.
But yes, now we're higher on the ridge. We can get better reception so that we could send a signal back to...
yeah, maybe corporate will hear us.
Yeah, maybe they'll send help.
I don't think they're getting these transmissions.
I don't think they really care enough about us. Our ship was very cheap.
Yeah,
we are unskilled labor.
We didn't get the nice company vehicle to use on this mission.
We've never gotten a nice company vehicle.
Well, we'll get
they
promotions
pay us hourly, which means the more work we do, the more overtime they're going to have to pay us. They're not coming back.
I'm calculating all of our overtime.
I know you are. That's why they're not getting us.
I keep sending back expense reports via subspace transmission. I don't think HR is happy. I'm expensing a lot of fast food living out here.
If they leave us here to die, they don't have to pay us. But even if they terminate our contract, we're due severance pay. So...
Well, severance pay and unpaid wages.
And unpaid, that's the one. Which means we're kind of fucked.
Yeah, it's a strange limbo of if they fire us, they have to pay us. And if they come to get us, they have to pay us. And then fire us, but then pay us at the same time. It's a conundrum. So we'll be out here for a while, but hopefully we can continue to provide some stuff for you guys to listen to.
And not get attacked by any expected creatures.
Do hate those creatures, especially the sandy worms.
Oh yeah.
Winter is approaching.
Winter is far. It's June.
Maybe on Earth it is.
Yeah. Okay. We landed on the North Pole of the planet.
We're moving to the other one.
It's a small planet.
You got to migrate south to get away from the sandy worms. Oh, welcome back, everybody. We have 3 short stories today from, these are submissions from the Short Sci-Fi Reddit, and let's just jump right into them. The first one is called A Genuine Astronaut! ! This is by Lord Bronte, whom we have read before, so
yes.
Thank you again, Mr. Bronte, for submitting. It appears to be in the form of kind of a dialogue back and forth. So
conversation transcript.
Yeah, so let's do this. James, come in. This is Tyler in Control 6.
Yeah, buddy, what's up?
We need someone for a retrieval OP. What's your status?
Retrieval op.
Sorry.
I'm good. TY. I'm good, Ty.
I'm good, thanks.
Is that somebody's name?
Yeah, Tyler, short for Tyler.
And it's not saying I'm good, thank you.
No.
Okay, I'm good, Ty. Just finished welding the mining bot's auger.
Auger.
What's an auger?
An auger is a type of drill, I believe.
Took for damn ever, but I'm free now.
Unit 12 hasn't reported back from their EVA. Can you wander over there and check it out? EVA is...
No problem.
Oh, we figured out what an EVA is. It's a...
Extra vehicular activity.
Thank you, yes. Really? Are you sure you're go for mission extension, Jim? What are your levels?
Yeah, I'm good. It says here that I have a 72% O2. Level's normal.
That should be enough oxygen to get there and back. Set your nav for 62 azimuth, 70 below your current horizon.
Got it, Ty. I'm on my way. Man, this roid is huge.
Also, this asteroid is large.
I have to remind myself that they're weightless or I get freaked out.
Weightless, Jim, not massless. They still have momentum and they're still dangerous.
Whatever. What is this thing made of, anyway? Diamond? Those drill bots are always getting their parts bent up and sheared off.
Actually, carboniferous asteroids are softer. This roid is nickel iron. The reason those bots keep breaking is because they're cheap junk. HMC cuts every corner in existence.
There we go. Businesses that cut corners.
Yeah, sounds like our corporate.
Go figure. Not you too, Ty. Don't start with me about how horrible Horsehead Mining Corporation is. You sound like the environuts and the bloggers.
Even in the future, bloggers will be complaining. I like that.
On the space net.
Fine, forget I said anything. What's your status?
I'm good, making progress, but I mean, everybody's acting like HMC is the big evil corporation. Untrained personnel, blah blah. Health and safety, blah blah blah. And taxes, geez. I say that half those scandals are made up, and the others are just good business sense.
Like relocating corporate HQ to off-world?
Exactly. Why would they be subject to Earth's regs if they're not on Earth?
Or putting the CEO in cryosleep to dodge the indictment?
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. That's genius. If you can't show up to court, you can't testify and be indicted. All right.
In cryosleep? Well, what about, did the CEO put his friends and family in cryosleep
They
too?
don't have to testify.
So he's just gonna go to the future?
It's the ultimate tax dodge. You can't pay
Is it worth
taxes if
it,
you're not
though?
around. For him, probably. He's rich.
Give me a break, Ty. I'll tell you all about HMC. Back home, I'd be lucky if I could get a job flipping burgers. But at HMC, I'm a genuine astronaut.
Oh, shit.
I tell you what.
Oh, shit. They said the title. You should be getting close, James. What's your status?
Everything's good. 72% O2. Hey, I think I see the 12's rig, the Unit 12's rig up ahead. So his CO2 didn't change? I guess it's a short conversation.
Yeah, his O2 is still 72.
Unless it's lying.
Just going back.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Or maybe like it's stuck at 72.
Maybe it's lying.
Maybe. Do you have eyes on the personnel?
Hold on, let me get there. I see 2 empty tethers and 1... Whoa, yeah. There's a guy here.
What's his status?
Can't tell, let me turn him over. Oh man, he's gone, Ty, staring at me like a dead fish.
Again? Oh man. Can you port his data to your comm so I can figure out what happened?
Okay, how?
Damn it, James. Use the Univ port to plug into his CPU and press the blue button, got it? It's so obvious.
Yeah, keep your shirt on.
Okay, I'm getting the data. Finally. Shit. Looks like his suit malfunctioned. Gave him faulty readings. He must have passed out before he knew what was wrong.
Wow, Ty, should I haul him back?
I don't know. You're pretty far out, and I'm not sure how much range you have left.
Nah, it's okay. My readout says 72% O2.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, that's cute.
That was nice. I liked that.
Businesses, man.
Relevant, yeah, relevant banter.
We didn't come up with what we were talking about earlier. We didn't read this story before.
We didn't actually. That's
just a common theme.
That's a nice coincidence, actually. I like it. I like the format. I love dialogues back and forth. You could even I imagine this is a recovered, audio transcript, done in a proceeding of this suit malfunctioned and my client's relative died here. Blah 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 blah. I could see a lot of use for this. That was very fun, and I like. It's still believable, and maybe I'm just thinking ahead too far, but undoubtedly we will start mining asteroids when we become spacefaring, because why not? There's so much ore in those things. And I like the inclusion of what
not
did they
only
say?
that, there's a finite amount of resources on Earth, which means there are going to be more resources available if you use other sources.
Yeah. what do they call them? Soft asteroids?
That's what they called these. Because
Carboniferous asteroids, and that's a term I recall, but
Are
I cannot.
softer.
Yeah, I can't
it
define
probably
it.
it just
off
means
the top of my
carbon
head.
rich.
Carbon rich? Okay.
Versus this one is nickel iron, so it's heavier.
Oh, because ferrous, that means iron, right? FR?
Carboniferous?
Carboniferous. But ferrous, doesn't FR stand for iron or copper?
Yeah, maybe
so it's
it is
a combination of the two or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's cool. I like
Although,
that.
I
That was
don't
very
know.
fun. Thank you, Lord Bronte. And you can find that on the short sci-fi Reddit like the rest of these stories today. Moving on to the second one.
Yeah. Lost. Oh, this is like a title you would use. Lost Machinations of
Machinations.
Typhor. Machinations.
Lost Mac and
Tomato,
Cheese.
tomato.
Lost Machinations of Typhor by
Lost Machinations of Typhor.
Loki Isa. Loki Isa. I think I fucked up this pronunciation before. I apologize again.
I don't see the name. Where's the name?
It's right below the title. User. U/.
It says submitted 3 months ago by Lokiisa. Loki Isa.
I don't know.
Loki Isa or Loki Isa.
So thank you again for submitting. And let's get through this one. This is all italicized.
A young Sleert drifted through the sand effortlessly.
As effortlessly as you got through that word.
As she wandered these dunes since early childhood, every step was calculated against the constantly moving sand to maximize agility.
Off in the distance, a small shack can be seen. Heavy sheet metal guards the house against the sand, yet the large door opening into the living space is ajar.
It's dark.
Beads of light sparkle off to the sides of the room, and Savina feels around, her eyes not used to darkness. Darkness capitalized. I wonder if that's intentional.
A wrench.
A few energy capsules.
These could easily sell back in the civil for a few rations.
So she's a scavenger, I'm guessing?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. A sound.
A whir, like a small fan. She disregarded it. No one was home, she told herself.
Another whir.
A beep.
She pulls out a small rifle off of her back, put together with scrap Federation parts. Junk to most, but it had served her well for as long as she could remember.
She swerved to meet the noise, but again.
Darkness.
A whir.
Clank. Whir. Beep.
She realized it came from a door down the hall. There's a hall? In this small shack? Thankfully closed, but in a moment of impulse, shot.
Another shot.
They went through the thin metal door and disappeared.
She breathed heavily. Fear crept in behind Fear crept in behind her.
No, not fear.
A metal hand.
She spun around and pulled her rifle, and she saw darkness.
Not the darkness of the house, but death.
A whir.
And that's
What?
it. Okay, so this was a little kind of science fantasy
This is a scene.
snippet. Yeah,
It's
a
not
scene.
a whole story, it's just a scene.
No, but
Of something that just some girl who's scavenging a small shack that apparently is big enough to have a hall, and then there's a whirring monster behind her.
it's a robot.
A whirring monster.
I think it's a robot.
It clanks and it whirs and it beeps.
That's a robot.
Maybe it's a steampunk monster.
I actually got a Fallout vibe from this.
Well, there you go.
This felt like a scene in New Vegas. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is fun. It's nice to break from hard sci-fi to just some little fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good. Thank you. Not a lot to say about it. I think it speaks for itself. This would be a good little thing to do as an audio drama. Just make some background noise to it. Yeah, that would be cool. Well, thank you, Lokiza. Again, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Moving on.
Thought Bill.
Thought Bill is by
Stripey.
whom we have read from before, so thank you again for submitting. This is licensed CC by NC, non-commercial, just so everyone knows.
Which means that we're going to put a whole bunch of ads for...
I'm going to put so many ads on this. McDonald's, Starbucks.
all the big names.
All the big names.
Kinko's.
Nissan.
Borders.
Elon Musk's mortgage foreclosure service? Because he's expanding into that market.
Commercials to force you to join the Navy.
I'm going to put one commercial from every branch of the military, one after another.
To show impartialness.
What was that? That was for Star Wars Episode 7. Yeah, the
Is that what they did?
previews were, seriously, one after another, it was commercials for the military. I don't know why they think a bunch of nerds are just going to go sign up for the military after watching a movie about fighting a militaristic power.
Well, to be fair, Star Wars isn't really about nerds. Like, isn't really just for nerds.
Yeah, but this was opening weekend. This was the midnight release.
I know, and so they're like, yeah, you guys want action? Come get action.
Which everyone's going to see through. Like, it's just wrong. Like, that should be on a, the latest super patriotic, gotta kill ISIS in Afghanistan
like
video.
a Jason Bourne movie or something.
Yeah, exactly. It should be like, that's mindless action. That's for people who like that type of thing. Science fantasy is a bit different. But anyway, we're digressing.
Thought Bill. Kevin couldn't remember when he outsourced more of his thinking to private companies who served it back to him through the internet. He couldn't remember because he couldn't access his my.memory account. Maybe the data centers that served memory to users like Kevin were having technical difficulties. It was also possible he'd got behind on his internet bill, but he couldn't check because he couldn't access his budget server either.
So, just to give some context, memory is spelled M-E-M, a capital M-E-M, capital R-Y.
Like
and,
WinRAR or something.
Yeah, and budget is capital B-U-D, capital G, capital I, capital T. So, these are definitely .com names. I feel like I want to unpack this first paragraph, just so to get context.
So, he can't remember because he uploaded his memories to the internet. And, the idea is he's selling his thought processes to the private companies.
Maybe. I almost feel like this is how people's minds are hooked up in the future.
Well, it's probably something like how you have the cloud on your phone, or you could use it if you want, and if you want to use it more, you have to pay some money.
Well, he's outsourced most of his thinking to private companies who served it back to him through the internet. Why would you do that? For what need would a company have of someone's thoughts?
If they own your thoughts, then they own whatever you come up with. So it's like an IP thing, I imagine.
Maybe.
And it reminds me a little bit of Paycheck, actually. You remember that?
Oh, it's been
a long time. There was a movie, I think it was based on something, where main character played by Ben Affleck works on a secret class project for like 3 months, and then after that amount of time, his memory is scrubbed. And then, of course, everything goes wrong, and he has to go back and figure out what he really made. Good movie, but like, same idea.
Okay. Interesting. Let's continue. The last thing he vaguely remembered was paying his thought bill and worrying about how... Oh, see, I thought thought bill was going to be like a piece of legislation to police people's thinking.
I thought it was going to be like somebody's name. Like
thought
here's
police.
Thought Bill. See him think.
And worrying about how high it was. All that thinking about copyright images of sweaty, scantily clad men had added up. All right, Bill's got a kink. Not Bill. Kevin. Wow, yeah, Kevin. He had tried to keep his mind on things that weren't copyright, but the more he tried not to hear the pop song or reimagine bits of movies or recall photos, the more he thought about them, and the more it cost him in licensing and legal fees.
Ugh.
Okay, so now we're playing with the idea of copywriting stuff to where you can't even think about it or you have to pay a royalty.
Oh boy.
Interesting, and it's interesting.
That is interesting legislation, because
yeah.
If somebody else owns your thoughts, then you're kind of you can't.
You're not a person.
Anything else you think about gets added into the payment, I guess. And if it's somebody else's property, then your thoughts. That's weird.
And it is very interesting that Stripey's stuff is all CC by NC. So copyright and intellectual property rights are kind of part of this story intrinsically. I wonder if this is like a little just thought exercise that Stripey has done.
Well, it also feels a little bit like a heating bill. If you use your heat too much, or you can choose to go without it and suffer a little bit for less money. Kevin wasn't sure what to do. Partly because his phone and every other quick way of communicating with anyone who might be able to help needed the internet to work. But more importantly, because he decided some time ago that his strategic thinking wasn't as good as the machine learning algorithms of Enhance perform. And now he couldn't reach their services either. Huh.
Okay. So he doesn't remember if he's paid his bill or not. And he can't reach anybody about it because he can't access it.
Ah! Scares me.
Yeah, I think I have paid our internet bill a lot faster than I've ever paid our heating bill. And I don't think they can shut down your internet without like advance notice or anything, but it is just like, it's so intrinsically tied to what we do today. These days, I should say. Well,
apparently it's even more intrinsically tied to Kevin because it's like 50% of his personality.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm not entirely sure where it's going, but it's thought-provoking. Kevin felt a grumbly feeling in his gut. He had checked 3 times today, and the smart fridge still hadn't ordered any more food. The feeling wasn't doing anything to improve his mood. The idea of going for a walk occurred to him that usually cheered him up. The idea of going for a walk occurred to him that usually cheered him up. But the pedometer on his Pebble wasn't getting any internet signal either. And his person trainer would be grumpy if he exercised without capturing at least the basic biometric data. Besides, without access to a map server, how would he find his way home afterwards?
Oh my gosh.
So now we have a theme of people being so one with their gadgets and their smartphones and their tablets, and like how it's just encompassing someone's life. I like this. This is
like a New Age Twilight Zone episode.
Kinda, yeah. It does feel like a Twilight Zone episode. Like this could be an episode of Black Mirror. Of being just like, you can't function without knowing your apps are going to be responding correctly to it.
Kevin's mind wandered for a while, but it kept circling back to the same place. Without an internet connection, there was nothing he could do. He still slumped on his couch, staring with glazed eyes at the blank screen of his data wall. When the paramedics arrived, his confused expression told them everything they needed to know. Another internet eviction, they said with a shrug as they bagged his stiffened body for disposal.
Damn!
Jesus Christ.
Whoa! Okay.
This is personally my basic fear of getting too caught up in like social media or the internet in general, because if you can't live without it, then you're kind of stuck needing it all the time. And this is like an extreme example of that, but
not so far off that it doesn't hit a bit close to home.
It's more like an extreme thought experiment.
Yeah. I've been hearing from the older generation that, and I think it's a lot of fear mongering from like clickbait articles saying millennials spend so much time on their phone that they don't know how to look someone in the eye when they're talking to them, and they're not learning proper social skills and all this kind of like crazy blown out of proportion, people are on their phones too much. And it's mostly nonsense, but there is something to be said of how much time we spend inside these days and just how much of it's glued to a screen. And I spend a lot of time on the internet and in at screens, just editing and playing games and stuff. But the simple action of when he said he'd like to go for a walk because that cheered him up. I've started running in the morning just to like have time to myself and to exercise a bit. And it actually does cheer you up a lot. Just that little exercise goes a long way. And that really kind of resonated with me.
And now Fitbits are a thing.
Yeah, and just like walk, just go walk outside, just unplug for that small portion. And if you ever get to that point in your life where you can't do that, like you kind of just wither away. I thought that was really powerful.
The thing is, we're not really far off from this. If you lose your phone, you lose access to whatever your bank accounts, your I guess your workout data, your Facebook and everything else. I mean, we're close to this.
Yeah.
Only thing is, I think, well, the internet can't really evict you.
Internet eviction. So I guess he didn't pay his bill because that's the only reason you'd be evicted.
Which, it sucks because he's in a weird place where even if he had the money to pay his bill, he couldn't pay it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't leave him any avenue to pay it.
Yeah. And that's...
So at that point, like, it's almost like they wanted to get rid of him to make room for something else.
Possible. It's sometimes companies
That's
do not make it easy to actually repay and to fix a problem.
Like foreclosing on somebody's house because you can make more money if you instead of that person who's only paying at a fixed rate, you can get somebody and sell the house for something more.
Well, that they can't do, but...
They can't do that?
No. You cannot be evicted unless you have failed your payments for a certain amount of time. And there are so many ways to slow down an eviction.
Yeah, but there can be pressure to, I guess, to keep you from making your payments or to keep you making payments you can't afford. No?
Even if someone wanted to do that, even if a bank or a lender wanted to do that, it's so hard to do. There are so many protections, especially since the recession, of protecting homeowners at this point. All
right, this discussion's getting boring.
Back to thought bills. I really thought this was going to be about thought policing.
Well, it sort of is, but in a weird, like...
A little.
I mean, in order to plug into all of this stuff, you have to succumb to it, right? You have to use a memory account to lose part of your memory to the account. You have to use a Budget account in order to in order to have all your money only available to you on your Budget account. So he kind of did it to himself in the same way.
True. You have to wonder how much of this is I have to have the internet because it's the future, and how much of it is everyone else is doing it, so I'm going to get iTunes.
It's like it's like getting an iPhone. When you get an iPhone, you're only able to use Apple apps, Apple devices in some sense, which
Apple.
means that if Apple decides they don't like you, which probably legally they can't do, but it's a power they have over you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know. It sounds similar. This is fun. I like this one.
This was very fun, and thankfully we don't live in this world quite yet, and I hope we don't. So it's also a little bit of a. It's like a what's that called? A kind of a warning. Not a morality play, but just a. What is this parable?
Slippery slope.
No, it's a thing you write to warn people. Cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale.
Yes, it's a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you very much, Stripey.
Yeah, this is really fun. Tune in next time when we finish our move to the Ridge and have the ability to record longer messages.
What are you going to plant when we get to the Ridge?
Tendril fruit.
Tendril fruit?
And...
Are we going to build an outside little cage for our space kitty?
Yes. She can't exist indoors. The oxygen would kill her.
Hi, Space Kitty. Do you want to say something to the audience? Okay. She says hi.
Two friends.
I'm Emily.
I'm Andrew. Made a deal. I would do a minute podcast on a movie.
What movie would you do it on?
What if we count to 3, and at 3 we both say the name of the movie, and if it is somehow the same movie... 3, 2, 1, Super Mario Brothers! The Super Mario Brothers Minute. 2 episodes a week. Benview Network.